Chapter 23. How many years, how many decades had I played Father's games? Losing every game. Until by sheer luck I found the game he could not win. I couldn't afford to lose that way to Kryak. The game pieces had become real beings. We played for real lives. And I played the weaker side. I had to save, he had only to destroy. And yet, here is the shameful truth. I needed Kryak as Father had needed me. Kryak disappeared into Z-space and I followed him as well as anyone can follow another through that shifting nothingness. I found him waiting for me in a solar system with 3 inhabited planets. One of those worlds was the Kapassan home world. I had avoided ever visiting the Kapassan world. I didn't want to be tempted by notions of revenge. Kryak had already been some days in the system. He had laid out his game pieces with terrifying ruthlessness. Here is the game, Ellimist, 3 worlds. Each inhabited by a sentient race, Laga, the folk, and the Kapassans. I believe you may know of the Kapassans. There are 3 asteroids strategically placed. 3 impacts within the next 5 minutes of time. Except that one of those asteroids has already been mined and will explode into harmless debris before it can hit, you have my word on that. The word of a mass murderer. Yes, but an honest murderer, he said, and laughed at his own wit. You have time to reach and destroy one asteroid, not the other 2. If you guess wrong and destroy the mined asteroid, then 2 planets will die. If you guess right and detonate one of the unmined asteroids, only a single world will die. I wanted to rage, to curse the foul beast. No time. No time to cry foul, he would only laugh. 5 minutes. Now. All Darda now. What did I know? The Kapassan, civilized but extremely violent when they felt threatened as they had upon receiving the earliest Ketran broadcasts. The Laga, sub-technological farmers. The folk, not yet capable of spaceflight but technologically skilled and obsessed by a eugenic vision that motivated them to kill upwards of 90% of their own offspring for real or imaginary defects. Where was that mine? That was the issue, not which species deserved to survive. The question was, which had Kryak chosen to spare? Would he save the species closest to his own values, or would he spare the least threatening? Which served his needs best, Kapassans or the folk? Who would he keep alive? And what would he expect me to do? He would expect me to save the Laga. He would expect me to annihilate that asteroid and thus spare the peaceful farmers. And the Laga would be the species he hated most. But, expecting me to save the Laga, he would know that I would guess his mind. What was the answer? Seconds ticking. Time passing. I had to choose or make no play at all. 3 massive asteroids twirled through black space, falling toward 3 planets. I lit my engines, moved to position, and opened fire. The Kapassan asteroid heated, cracked, split, fired again and again, shattering the remaining large chunks. Blow your mine. I cried. As I agreed, Kryak said. A huge explosion blossomed. A red fireball against black space. The explosion consumed what was left of the Kapassan asteroid. Wrong. I had guessed wrong. I powered, full speed, to intercept the Laga asteroid. Fast. Faster. Too far to fire with any effect, fire anyway. I aimed, fired, watched my beams impact the distant asteroid. Too far away, and then the asteroid was within the shadow of the planet. There are no shock waves in space. I did not feel the impact. But I could see the green and blue planet of the Laga shudder. An amazing, awesome, terrible sight. The planet shuddered. Seemed almost to stop, unimaginable momentum checked. Slowly at first, then faster, a crack appeared, many cracks. The land was ripped apart. The seas drained into these craters, into these chasms. The white-hot core of the Lagan world met oceans of cold water and exploded with breathtaking violence. The Lagan world blew apart in steam and fire and debris. Blew apart. A faint bluish haze of atmosphere clung to some of the larger chunks, then evaporated. Every living creature died. I had already turned away, already lit my engines, already calculated the utter impossibility, already knew my own impotence, raced for no reason, with no hope, raced and fired and missed, all the while knowing I did it for my own sanity and no other reason. The folk died more slowly than the Lagans. The asteroid struck a glancing blow. It shocked the planet, ripped away a continent-sized chunk, and flew on past. The damaged planet wobbled wildly. Every structure on the planet was flattened, every seashore drowned, every lake spilled, millions died. And yet the folk lived on. Their orbit is badly destabilized, Kryak observed. You can see that they will slip slowly, then faster, wobbling, torn by shattering earthquakes, slide down and down the gravity well, atmosphere boiling away, suffocating, a few surviving in trapped pockets of air till of course they are roasted alive by their own sun. Some of them can still be saved. I cried. Yes. And you can stay here and save them, Ellimist. Or you can follow me to the next game. Save a few of these creatures, or perhaps save entire worlds. Your choice. It's all a part of the game.